Hello, guys. Welcome to the first Forza Mentality podcast. Of course, my name is Vincent Gattuso. I'm here with John.
How you guys doing?
John is a fellow AC Milan fan, as obviously you guys know I am as well. But Milan's red.
Yes, sir.
How do we feel about that? What did you think of the game?
Ecstatic. I was super happy with it, man. The first half obviously was terrible.
Yeah.
It gets me nervous watching that game. But Giroud, Olivier Giroud coming in hot, man. I love it.
Yeah. With that, in the beginning of the game, I was feeling the same thing. It just wasn't going well. We also weren't learning our lesson in the left field.
Yeah.
Dumfries every single time.
Took on Teo every time. Yeah.
Every single time, and we saw that cross come in at least 3 or 4 times. If you saw my reaction video, I was like, Teo Dumfries, come on, Teo Dumfries,
Yeah.
He's right there, he's behind you, be aware of him. Teo Dumfries, not mark him. And then with that corner kick, Perisic a good 2 or 3 times, wide open.
So that's because of Kalulu. Kalulu came in and checked into the 6 when he doesn't follow the runner on the outside. So that leaves Perisic wide open, right? So it's just a complete confusion. That's why when we talk about more center backs, why we should have gotten a signing or something. Because Romagnoli and Kalulu is not the partnership we need.
Yeah.
But you were talking about the Dumfries and also Perisic on the outside. Calabria was not doing well with Perisic. It was terrible. And then Dumfries on the outside. So they were taking both our vulnerabilities on the outside backs, and that's why it was it got really bad in the first half. The second half is I think the tipping point. I don't know why Inter did this. It's probably because of his age, honestly. But they took Perisic out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was one of the main tipping points to the game.
You see, that's what I was going to get into after you said that. For some reason, Simone Inzaghi and his choices, his decision making when to make subs, is awful.
Yeah.
I think back, when I think of that, I just think back because he took out Martinez and Perisic as the same subs.
Yeah.
And
Lautaro makes sense though. He did not do anything in the game.
I know he didn't do anything in the game, but he's still a very dangerous player. He's a player that, Kalulu did really well handling him, and that's why he didn't do it as well. But Martinez, throughout the game, anything can happen, and there's always going to be that thought when going forward to think
he's a different type of player. He has more pace than Dzeko or something. So yeah.
Yeah, put it this way, Milan are gonna be less afraid to go forward if Martinez isn't on the field, because if they go forward and we get caught off guard, Martinez has the ability to create something, and the reason why I'm saying Simone Inzaghi, is terrible at decision making when it comes to making these subs is because I think back to last season when he was with Lazio. It was Milan, Lazio, and during December time, it was some point that Lazio took over the game and they were dominating.
Yeah.
And then at the 55th, 60th minute, he takes out Immobile and Carrera.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, okay, thank you. Now from there, Milan have no worry. Milan just attacked and took over the game from that point on, and then they ended up winning in the last minute of the game.
Yeah. Well, and in this derby in particular too, you saw the first goal that was disallowed. It was literally Perisic to and across, beat Calabria really easily.
Yeah.
And then Dumfries jumped over Teo. Yeah. Perfectly fine. Legal everything. It's just Perisic was offside. Yeah. But that type of thing, we can't have that happen with our outside backs. And that's what worries me especially, is that we have Teo, who's insanely good going forward. Defensively, he's susceptible, right? Calabria is usually all around really good. We just have to get him back into form. Because before he got injured, he was doing really well. He was I thought he was probably our best defender. But you know how I feel about Kiar. I love Kiar, but so I think that he was our best defender, but we just need to get him back into form right now.
Yeah, no, just because he was out for a good month or two, right? He was gone. He was gone for a while. And during that time, Florenzi had to take over, and he had his games. He had his, he had good games. He had bad games, but I was thinking the same thing when Martinez and Perisic came out, and then we subbed in Brahim. Everything changed.
Everything changed.
Everything changed.
Well, we were going to talk about Kesse, how I think he's got one foot out the door. I think he's not really mentally in it. So when he his job was to, as that almost trequartista type of player, it was almost like a morph into it, was to basically defend Brozovic. Yeah. That was his job. Yeah. He did not do it.
He did not do it.
So he didn't add that to the game, and he didn't add anything going forward. So there was no point for him being in there.
Yeah.
So I thought he should have been right off at halftime. I thought he should have been out instead of Alexis for I think Junior Macias.
Yeah.
Even though that was a good sub too, Alexis didn't do like great.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that Brahim needed to come in right away at half. Which really makes me happy that he did well because now he's probably going to start in the Coppa Italia. He's earned his spot back because there was a lot of doubt going into this game with Brahim.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to run with this form now?
I hope so. From like prior experience that we've seen him, he's been like that guy to do it. He's just had a drop in form recently, so I'm really hoping that he picks it back up.
Yeah. I always see on Twitter, everyone jokes around that like ever since when he got COVID, he's never been the same since. But yeah, and that made me happy too that we won too because I hate Çalhanoğlu.
Oh, I hate Hakan.
I hate him so much.
The biggest snake in the league.
Biggest snake. He's like, he went to Inter and he was like, I want to win more derbies. I want to win more trophies.
Exactly.
Since he's been there, how many derbies has he won? None. And when I saw him get the assist, I was like, oh my God, I hate this right now because he thinks he's so.
It's just a corner, so I hate that.
Yeah, I know, but like you gotta understand how he is as a player in person. Like because like he's the type of player that could do nothing for months, get that one assist from that corner kick, and think he's God.
Yeah.
It's like, have you not seen what you've done? You can't there's players that talk shit, right? Zlatan, talk shit. Cristiano Ronaldo, talk shit, right? But they have everything to back it up. They've been consistently kicking ass.
Yeah.
Çalhanoğlu will kick ass for 2 games and he thinks he could start talking shit.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel the same way about Pogba.
Well,
I feel like Pogba could be the same way sometimes too.
I don't know. Pogba doesn't. I don't think Pogba talks that much. I think he does a lot of stuff on social media and stuff. But that's just. That's
what I mean. He's not necessarily talking shit, but like you could see that he thinks.
Like I don't want to get into like what Jerry Carragher always does and stuff, like mocking his haircuts and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous. I think Pogba, a little off topic, but I think Pogba is I think he's a great player, and I think like people need to respect his talent more. Yeah. And just take the social media aspects out of it. 'Cause I don't think it's taking anything away from his game.
Yeah.
But
from there then, Tonali.
Yeah, so I want 3 players that I think that besides Brahim, the starters, right? This is first half, second half, both halves. 3 players I think were man of the match type. You know, we have Tonali, Giroud obviously, who actually won it, and then Mike Maignan. But Tonali, insane. He both when he played Juve and when he played Inter just recently. Took away Locatelli easily, right? Yeah. Barella was a little harder, but he still did really well. I don't know if you remember them
shoved him
right out the ball on the end line. Yeah,
yep.
It was great. But Tonali is 100% the most improved player in the Serie A, and I think he should be contention for the best youngster in the Serie A. Yeah. But
there was a lot of Gattuso comparisons after the Inter game because Tonali was getting in the face of a lot of players during that game.
Yeah.
You know, and one specific moment I want to point out was when Dumfries was trying to get Teo to stand up and was going at Teo, and then Tonali stepped in front of him and was just back off.
Yeah, back off him. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dumfries wasn't doing it, and then he did. That's when Tonali started getting mad, and then you see Dumfries starting to back away. But I loved when I saw that. I even loved when I saw Brahim talking shit to Çalhanoğlu.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was like, let's go. I love that.
There's certain things that Tonali is bringing to his game now that we didn't see last season, obviously. Yeah. We just need to I think his passing range just needs to increase. Yeah. I think that if he becomes a deep line playmaker, even more so, that's gonna he's gonna be that perfect morph between Gattuso and Pirlo, right? Yeah. I don't think he's close to Pirlo. I know a lot of people say he is just because he came from
it's the Brescia. And
exactly. Just because he came from Brescia, but he's more of a Gattuso player. But if he could get that one little part of his game of that passing range, deep line playmaking, he's gonna be top 5 midfielder in the world, 100%.
And he does have the vision. I mean, one good example that I like to choose is when last season when Milan played Lille, where he sent Rebic through, and then Rebic sweat past it to Samu, who just tapped it in.
Yeah.
But that first initial pass was that was good vision.
Yeah,
that was a good pass. I mean, we created a play, obviously, and we scored. But Tonali. Yeah, I would say he's definitely improved a lot. It's night and day. And that just shows you the difference between someone that wants to be there and someone that doesn't.
Yeah, he took a pay cut to stay here. Yeah.
He took a pay cut to stay there. He also cost significantly less. Maldini somehow, some way was able to get him for cheaper. Which, when that was happening, that was kind of scary.
That's because he's a Milanista in heart,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I mean, he took a pay cut, and now not only is it night and day from last season to this season, he took the pay cut. He's improved significantly. He was humble about everything. And now it's even come to a point where he's already going to get a contract renewal on pay raise.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You prove yourself on why you should be making that amount. Not just do well against Empoli and be like, yeah, where's my $9 million a season?
Oh, like GG asking for like 12 plus.
Yeah, so like for 12, like, and the ridiculous thing about that, they know they can't receive that. They know they can't get that.
It's just like an ultimatum type of thing for them to basically force you to sell them, or just try to get on a free, Yeah. But yeah, the next thing, like with next player is definitely Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Magnan. I honestly, if Giroud, I understand Giroud got man of the match, but like it was just because of 2 goals, right?
Yeah.
Mike was the best goalkeeper I've seen in so long. Yeah. It's just his reactions, positioning, everything, and just like his demand when he's there, like his presence. Yeah. He's always pushing everyone forward,
That's what I'm saying.
And just that reaction save that he had, I forgot whose back it was off.
It was off Kalulu's.
Kalulu's back, right? And he just makes a quick little adjustment, and it's a crazy reaction save.
Yeah, and I was watching on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Matteo and Marco, the one thing they were talking about, like when they're looking at it on the highlight, like it looks like it wasn't as fast, but watching it in real life,
it was fast.
It was like he had to last minute.
It's a strong wrist too to keep that. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like for him to be able to do that, have that reaction, to readjust and get that save off is incredible. Even the way he positioned himself against Dumfries when Lautaro sent him through and then he volleyed it. Like, he positioned himself perfectly in a way where he was cutting off the angles, making it harder for, Dumfries to get that shot off, obviously, and score. And, yeah, I mean, that save was incredible as well. But another player to talk about is, I would say, Leao. Yeah,
Leao, I think, had a tough time. I think every team that he's going to be playing against now is going to be... It's going to be tough for him because now they know about his ability, right?
Yeah.
He knows he likes doing a one step over, go down the line with extreme pace, right? So now they're putting 2 on him. They're putting either a fast outside back on him now, and they're kind of trying to shut him down, right? I think it's his next stage in development is going to be to overcoming that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be tough for him, but everything that we've seen so far means he could do it.
Well, this is the most consistent I've seen him throughout a season. From start to finish. Usually he'll start out good, and then he'll have a dip in form, and then he'll slowly kind of bring it up again, and then same thing.
And his laziness from past seasons,
Yeah. But even that's improved quite a bit as well. But this is something I'm just thinking about now, which I've always wondered about and wondered why it was never tried, having Leao and Rebic on the same field, where Leao would be on the left, Rebic be on the right, and then they just... switch. Leao even does that now.
Well, how I see Rebic, I joke with you all the time. He's either the worst player on the field that we've ever seen, or he's Ballon d'Or contender. You know what I mean? Because he either does something spectacular, or he just is no reason to have him on the field. And that inconsistency is really tough to have that on there. Now same thing with Leao, which we have trouble with consistency with him, right?
Yeah.
So now if you have both people on both wings, right, that have a chance to not be playing well, that's not a recipe for success. Yeah.
But the thing that makes me laugh with Rebic, every single time he does this, it cracks me up because he'll go full speed, right, and then he just that fake shot, kind of where he goes this way, and then he's all right, he's gonna shoot, and then he does it again. You're all right, he's gonna shoot or pass now, and then he does it again, and you're what are you doing? Just make the decision. He'll do it 3 or 4 times in a row, and you're what did that accomplish? Just to shoot the ball, or he'll be through on goal. And then he'll do the move. And I'm just shoot it.
But then there's times where he's outside the 18 of 18. And then he's putting it top right.
Yeah.
Just out of nothing. So it's confusing with Rebic.
I remember this one goal. I'm trying to remember what game it was, but it was off a corner kick and then just came out, and he just first time volleyed it with his left and it went in. And I'm just okay. Mm-hmm. Where the hell did that come from? You're right. You'll even have moments where it's that, or moments where he just is completely... I don't know. Not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the big thing to talk about now is, Giroud had quite the derby. Obviously he scored the 2 goals. And now do you go with Zlatan or Giroud?
So this is like a tough question because if Zlatan's even ready for the Coppa Italia or the next Serie A match, it's really tough because just for confidence reasons, dude, you can't really take a striker that scored a brace and you take him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's almost like it's given that he should start.
But another big thing is that in the Coppa Italia against Lazio, they're home. Milan is at the San Siro. So Giroud only scores from right now. He's only scored at home. Yeah, so that
it's the opposite for Zlatan.
Exactly. So that even shows you what really should you do.
Zlatan's only scored 1 game at home, and that was against Lazio as well. All the rest have been away games.
I think for this match, this match coming up for Lazio, I think you start Giroud. Yeah. Just because you could even tell Zlatan we need to give you more time to rest type of thing. And then, but for this match, we start Giroud, and then we evaluate for the next Serie A. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even hopefully, if it'll be, we're hoping that obviously it will be an easy game. Even try to see how Lasadic does.
I think it's gonna be tough.
No, it's definitely gonna be a tough game, but I want to see Lasadic and see how he does and do well because I haven't really seen much of him. I saw some highlights of him, and he's good. He's good on the ball. He can call up the ball up well. He has good speed. But just kind of curious to just see how he does, type of thing.
I'm also a little nervous with because Milan need a trophy. Pioli needs a trophy.
Yeah.
I know that we're it's a project, everything, but silverware needs to be we need to have some silverware at some time. So I think if we get to Coppa Italia this year, I think that's huge. Yeah. I think that's huge. We could relax. Say if we don't win Serie A, right? Which is again, it's a very tough ask. Inter has a game in hand. We're still in contention, obviously, right? Yeah.
And this game was, by the way, this derby. I feel at least that this derby, and actually, a lot of people have feel this way because I've seen people talk about it. I've seen people write about it. This was going to determine whether Inter was going to win the league or not.
Oh, 100%. If we even drew the game, probably, I think it's done.
Yeah, no, winning this game, because I feel like with Milan, right? If they lost this game, the rest of the season would have been a struggle. I feel like winning this game, we've run with that confidence.
Yeah.
And if you look at our next 5 games, not that bad. Look at Inter's next 5 games.
Very tough. They play Napoli next.
Yeah, they play Napoli next. And if they lose to Napoli as well,
that's big.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally,
we want to draw.
We want to draw because both of them will drop points. But I would say I would even prefer Napoli winning, and I'll tell you why. Because I feel like Inter losing 2 games in a row is going to screw them up.
Okay.
And Napoli winning this game. Napoli always have this inconsistency of doing really well for a portion of the season and then doing really bad.
Same with Atalanta.
Yeah, same thing with Atalanta. And then even if you look at past seasons, right? Where it was Juve, Napoli, always the 2 teams that could always do it, right? You always saw Napoli keep up with them at some point in the season, and all of a sudden, dropped.
Yeah.
Just completely dropped off, and then Juventus ran with it. Napoli are notorious for doing this. So if that happens, which, anything could happen, obviously. We've seen this season in the Serie A. Anything could happen.
So I really think that best case scenario is a draw. I don't think even if Napoli wins, I feel like that's still more pressure for us because we're tied with Napoli right now with same games in hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing I think that I want to happen, I don't know if this is the best idea, but I want Inter to beat Liverpool in the Champions League. Yeah, I want them because then they have to keep putting players in the Champions League and it becomes more of a rigorous season for them. While Milan we're not in any other competition besides Coppa Italia, Serie A, so we could focus on those, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope that if I don't know if they can beat Liverpool, especially with Luis Diaz now coming in.
Yeah.
But I think that if they stay in the Champions League, then we have a better chance.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree because, like I said, they got to worry about, and then they've been Inter this season have been very, very fortunate with not having to deal with really any injuries or even COVID cases at all. They've pretty much gone to every game with a full squad.
We can't go a week.
Yeah, we can't go a week without finding out that someone got. We have Rebic back for not even a week, and he got hurt in training. And I would love to say it's just Zlatan getting old, which that's definitely plays a role in it. I mean, it has to. But young players are getting the same people are consistently getting hurt over and over again. So what's happening? Why? How is this continuously happening?
I don't know. I actually genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I have no answer.
It's
I'm
just
like
a curse for Milan.
Like for real. Like we can't catch a break. I don't remember the last time we feel like where we've gone into a game.
Well, we can't this season just because of Kiara.
Yeah, I know, obviously. But like I'm just saying in general, like minus Kiara, minus him, right? I can remember the last time we went to a game without a single person hurt. I can't tell you the last.
Definitely
time.
like middle of the season in the beginning, because I know there's a part in the beginning, like I don't know what, like before December, like maybe around November. That I think we had like a full squad, and then Kiara got hurt obviously in December.
Yeah.
So around that time maybe. Yeah. But I can't remember if anyone else was out.
No, they cannot. Like, it's insane, and it's been like 50 plus injuries.
Yeah. That's
like absurd. The only team that I know that like is really struggling that bad with injuries is like Barca.
Yeah.
Like Barca
but actually, at least they made some signings.
Yeah, at least they made some signings as well. We got the like of Lassitic.
Yeah.
But after that derby too, there was a lot of repercussions. A lot happened.
Well, yeah, at the end of the game, I don't know if you saw Teo when he got the red card. First of all, stupid red card. I don't know why he thought that he needed to do that. I forgot who it was. I think it was Dumfries that he took out. There's no reason to do it. He wasn't going anywhere. You have two.
I don't know.
You have three in the back still that's able to.
He's
not going anywhere.
It was just a scary because you gotta think about it. Like this is something that's in the very moment. He needs to make a decision. Like
just run by. Like go. Don't like foul or anything. Just keep running. Just keep running. So like if Romagnoli comes in and comes to like defend Dumfries, you go central. So now now we just switch up a little bit. It's like there's no need to do it. First of all, I don't even think it was a red card. Like it was. I think the context of like the foul obviously is what made it red. Because it was just a slide tackle from behind. Yeah. It wasn't like last man, anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think it was just my first initial reaction to that was why was that red?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, but it has to be because of context. It has because the game was starting to boil over, and it was obviously last minute. Yeah. And so like it just had to be the referee's like decision like this time of the game, this important like of a game had to be red. Again, I don't agree with it necessarily, but
yeah, no, I mean. Like he said, he knew exactly what he was doing. And I felt like he knew he was good because the second he did it, he was already walking. He was already walking towards the tunnel.
That's why, speaking of the tunnel, that's when Lautaro comes over. And I watched the video. I can't see for sure if he spit on him. I can't see for sure. But he did get, I believe, a 10K fine.
Shouldn't he have gotten suspended as well, I feel?
Well, if he didn't spit on Tio, like, I don't know. I feel like a final it's just like them talking then, Yeah. I know Teo got his suspension suspension decreased by 1 game, so it's 1 game now and 5K fine. Yeah. And I know Inzaghi and Bastoni both went to the ref after the game and started arguing nonstop.
Hold on. Let's just talk about this real quick. What was it going to take for this ref to give an Inter player a yellow card?
What'd you say? We had 20 fouls? Or they had 20 fouls and nothing?
They had 1 yellow. I'm like, Romagnoli's, okay, it was a foul, but yellow card. They're consistently fouling us from the back.
Giroud keeps getting an elbow to his back nonstop and nothing happens.
And then after every call the ref makes, an Inter player's in the ref's face. And I'm like, what is it going to take?
Yeah.
What is it going to take?
That's why I'm happy to hear that Bastoni got suspended for 2 games and Inzaghi for 1. But I don't think it really matters for Bastoni because I'm pretty sure they have a sub for him. But
yeah, they always do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what about it. That's one thing I give it. They have.
Same with Juve.
They have the depth. They have the subs they can make.
Which is a testament to Pioli, man. We don't have the depth that everyone else has, and we're still doing this.
But that's what I mean. That's why I didn't really I felt like Milan was going to win this game because. Look at the last derby. We had to play with Ballatore as our left back. Even if that's the only thing that's wrong, no one should have to go through that.
Exactly.
No one should ever have to go through that. And you saw
we're playing Bakayoko and everything.
Yeah, Bakayoko. And I know you love Tata. I don't know why.
Tata.
I don't know why. He did save a penalty in that game.
He's the best goalkeeper in the world, man.
Best goalie in the world. Quit playing with me. And we had to have Tata on net. And they barely beat us. We almost won that game.
First of all, don't put disrespect on Tata. When his time came, he did well.
Dude, the man moves like a snail, man.
I know, but his feet are a little questionable. But he did some good. He made some good saves.
The ball's in the net, he still hasn't. He still hasn't dived yet. And then the ball's in the net, and then he dives, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But but then we almost beat them then. Now we have a somewhat, and we were still missing players going into that game, but we had a 11 worthy 11 going in at least a little bit. But yeah, that's why I said a little bit, and that's why I felt comfortable winning that game. But speaking of Teo as well, signing his contract.
5 more years.
5 more years. Very happy about
a bunch of clubs that are top clubs. I'm pretty sure PSG were interested. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. But I know maybe Bayern too, because obviously his brother. Yeah. But I think that shows his commitment to this team. I also think he has a kid on the way, so maybe he wants to stay in Milan because of that.
Yeah, I believe his wife is from Milan. Like, it's not like they traveled together here. Like, he met her there.
So that's huge for me. That's huge for me because it shows his commitment. I know he's I think when Calabria and Romagnoli are out, I think he gets a captain ban. Yeah. So it shows you that, like,
that's something to talk about too. The role he took on there, like, he got that captain's armband, and he really, like, took it well. Yeah. And did really well.
I think a lot of the team also respect him. Yeah. I hate when he, like, gets fouled and starts crying a little bit, but it's okay.
Dude, when COVID was going on and there was no fans,
you could hear his scream. You could recognize his scream.
I could close my eyes. He could get fouled, and I'm like, yep, that was Teo. That was Teo who just yelled. But yeah, Teo, I feel like not having him, like, changes everything with how Pioli's gameplay plays out and how Milan plays. I feel like, he's one of those players that's like the backbone.
I think we do need a solid replacement for him. Yeah. Just like a reserve type of thing. I think if we have our starting lineup, I think Kalulu's that guy. I don't know if Kalulu is going to be okay with being like a number 2 as an outside back or even a center back. But I think that we just need to start. I think we have a solid team, especially with our back line when, like, Chiara's back, everyone's back, Tomori. Yeah. I just think we need the depth in our back line now.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then also, Zlatan, is he going to renew for another year?
From what the past 2 days have, like, told us and everything, it seems like it's going to happen. Yeah. I don't know if it's the best idea because they want to get a striker in the summer. They want to make a big purchase in the summer, which is most likely going to be a striker.
I've been seeing Jonathan David and Andrea Belotti.
Yeah, I've seen Belotti. I haven't seen Jonathan David, but I that's a lot of, like, big egos in the locker room, And I know Zlatan's gonna want to play, right? Yeah. And
that's the question. Like, he's like, what's my importance gonna be to the club?
Exactly. So, like, I think no matter what he's gonna do, he's gonna be a leader. He's gonna, like, train these, like, younger players that, like Milan's project is to get players, like, under 25. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that role for him is still really important. But, like, what happens with Giroud then? Like, So I think it's gonna be a very. If you do it for another year, then you have to talk to some, like, Giroud. You have to talk. Maybe you don't make a huge purchase in the summer for a striker. Maybe you try to reinforce some of that. Maybe
if we get Belotti, they won't have to.
Yeah, maybe you get Renato Sanchez for Kesse and try to just do all in for that.
Yeah. No, I 100% think that. It's just me selfishly. Again, people that know me and have watched, have listened to my cast on Color Cast, they know how much I love Zlatan.
I love him too.
If I could just I selfishly am not ready to, like, see him go. I selfishly want to see him.
But there are signs that it might be time, though. Just his injuries, right?
I know. That's why I say selfishly. Yeah. Selfishly, it's just I'm not ready to let go yet. Yeah. I want to see him at least one more year. And I think after one more season, I'll be more than happy and satisfied. But it's just, letting go. Yeah. It's hard. Because, like, when I think of, like, put it this way, when Gattuso, left Milan as a coach, right? Even when he left as a player, like, when I think of Milan, that's who I thought of.
Zlatan?
Well, I think of Gattuso and Zlatan. And Zlatan because of how much I loved them and how much, they were a huge part with why I fell in love with football and why I fell in love with this team. Gattuso, obviously, from, his years at Milan. And then when Zlatan joined, I followed Zlatan even before he was at Milan. I loved him before that. And now he's in the team. And he's always expressed his love for the team. Even expressed that he never wanted to leave. He was kind of forced out because Milan had to figure out their financials and stuff. So he's one of those players, again, at this moment, he helped Milan get out of the mud.
Yeah.
You know, he
100%. He was like one of the main guys.
Yeah, he instilled and installed like an entirely new mentality that none of these players had, and also what they needed. So seeing him do that, and also at the age that he's at, like, for me, he's a legend of the club.
I would say so, yeah.
So he's one of those players, again, when I think of this club, I think of him. I think of Gattuso. Like, when Gattuso left, like, there was a part of me that was, like, really sad about that because of the fact of the impact and the type of player he was. And even as a coach, I still loved him as a coach.
Yeah.
And so, like, when he left, it just, like, you know, took something. Like, in my heart, it hurt me a little bit. And that's how I feel with, like, the whole Zlatan situation. I'm just not ready for him to go.
It's just almost time.
It is. But it's just me selfishly.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
But if we're still talking about contracts and everything, I know we have questions with Leao and Brahim. I don't know what they're going to do with
Benacer as well.
Benacer, but I heard that they're going to sign Benacer again. Like, they're going to re-sign him. I don't think he's much in question, especially with the leave of Kesse.
I don't think Leao is either. I think Benacer and Leao are
Well, the problem with what I'm worried with Leao is that everyone sees how good he's getting right now, and he's young and he's developing at like a rapid rate with good direction, right? Yeah. So that's just people are gonna want him, and people are gonna be able to pay him much more. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's gonna be able to say no. Yeah. I don't know if he wants the money or if he wants to stay in Milan. With Brahim, I know he's on loan from Madrid still. I don't know what the team's plans are. I know Brahim loves Milan. You know he wants to stay. Yeah. But is he the guy that we're gonna that number 10 role, the trequartista? Are we gonna have him there? Is he gonna be our future at that number 10 role? I don't know. When we talk about what's Milan's goal, what's our goal in the future? We want to win Champions League. We want to Serie A.
That's why I'm happy with this. Because think about it, we basically got 3 years of Brahim for like little like we didn't have to buy him. Like, you know how like there's 3-year contracts when you buy a player. Yeah. We basically got that with him because he has 2 years on that loan. So he's going to be with us this season and next season. I think depending on how he does, like going forward, like if he could find his flow, stay consistent, and start showing his great qualities in the player that he could become, then yeah, why not? And I think the buy...
But is he the guy that could take us to a Champions League win?
That's the thing. That's
Hakan wasn't. We understood Hakan wasn't. And he's not going to take Inter to a Champions League or anything like that. He's not that guy, just in my opinion. I love Brahim as a player. I just don't know if he's that guy to take us. I love a lot of like players on our team. I love almost every one of them, you know, besides Bakayoko. But that's funny. But we need to start looking at like replacements. Like, you know how much I love Chiara, right? Yeah. Chiara's only going to be here for maybe 2 more years, if at all. So we have to start finding replacements to him.
Well, they're looking at Batman right now.
Well, another contract we just signed. Gabi just signed another one. I don't know if he's going to be our future or not.
I don't think so.
They signed a pretty long-term contract, I think. Yeah. I think it was a decent contract.
2026, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's young.
He's still young, but I don't know. There's players that you see that just is gonna go forward with it, and there's players that you just don't.
I don't know. He could come out of like.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere and just do really well.
That's the other thing too. Like Romagnoli. Like, do you want him to stay or do you want him to go?
I want him to stay.
Me too.
I think that you still see signs of him, like those moments where like, oh, that's the old Romagnoli back, you know. Yeah. I do want him to stay. Also, he's just a leader of the club. It's just in the dressing room. He's the guy that you look at, you know, along with Zlatan and all that stuff. He's that leader. You know.
The other thing too, this is where I actually kind of disagree with Milan how they're behaving towards his contract extension. So he's making $6 million a season right now, all right, and he's willing to take a massive pay cut. He's asking for 3.5 million a season, which I don't know. Since how long he's been at the club, you know, he's been our captain. He's doing like good, and he's willing to take almost close to $3 million off what he's currently making now.
They're asking. So Milan's proposing 3, right?
I think it's like 2 something maybe. I guess we'll look it up real quick just to be sure. Okay, this tells us nothing.
Yeah, but regardless, it's probably
it's around that. So
around 2.5 maybe.
He's asking for like 3.5 million, and they want to like offer him between like.
His agent's still Bino.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I think he told Bino like figure it out or you're gone. Type of thing.
So it's tough because I see what Milan's reasoning is that first of all he's underperformed. He's probably going to be a sub most likely next season as well, just with Tomori and Chiara. Yeah. So I understand what they're coming from, and I understand what you're coming from too. Is like he's been our captain. He's a huge player still.
Yeah,
so
and
like,
he got us through that like whole Benta era.
But
as well.
But that money could go into someone else's salary.
Yeah.
And if you see how like we're working with slim pickings with the salary money, you know.
Yeah.
So if we could give someone else $1 million to keep them, would you not? Say Leao is asking for like I want $1 million more for or like $1.5 million to my contract. You could take that from what you'd have for money and put it to him. So like that's why I could see where they're coming from.
Okay, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. Again, maybe it's just me looking back on like how what he's done for the club and everything, but I don't know. I feel like he's still a solid option, and I'm like I don't know why this is important to me, but I'm big on having Italian players on the team.
Well, yeah, that's just in Serie A. A lot of like people who like watch Serie A and like have teams in that they like to have the Italian like born and bred type of thing in their teams. Yeah.
Like I like seeing that. I like having that. You know, I like seeing that our players are playing for the Italian national team because that means I could support them when I support Italy as well.
Yeah, but just like Milan they have a big history of having foreign players, especially like Brazilian or something like Kaká, Ronaldinho. So like I don't Cafu, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say you did.
But so like I feel like their identity is not just like a Italian. They have like great Italian players like Gattuso, like Pirlo, all that stuff. Like Maldini, obviously, you know. I think, but like but they have like a diversity type of them to them, and that's like their identity, you know. Yeah. Which is like I feel like it would be awesome to have someone like a Brazilian come in here that's not Junior Messias, even though he's like doing okay. Yeah. I want someone big, you know. I know like Pato might be coming back to. I heard that.
I saw he was going. Wait, Milan? You saw?
Yeah, Pato might be coming back to Milan. It's just one of his dreams. I would like want to like Pato to come back to Milan.
Because just recently I saw that he's looking at Monza.
No, so I feel like I did like there was like something on Twitter or something like so it's obviously not super reliable. Yeah. But
he posted a thing that was like the Italy flag.
Yeah, he has interest to come back to Milan if they would obviously take him. Yeah. Which I mean, it would be kind of cool. Yeah, no, I don't know how good it would be, but
that would be like more of like a hope.
That would exactly. That would be like, what if he's like old Pato and he just comes out of nothing?
It does out of nothing. I don't know. I saw him play for Orlando for a little bit, and then of course he got hurt like right away, and then he was like out for like the season. But those few minutes he played for Orlando, he was just literally running through everybody. He was just enjoying himself. But like, yeah, I mean, like speaking of great strikers going places too, Vlahovic going to Juventus.
So you watched the game, right? Or like at least highlights or something?
I saw the full game.
They look good.
They looked really good.
They look good.
I'm happy we don't have to deal with them anymore.
Of course, we might in the Coppa Italia. We might, but which we do not have a good resume against Juve in the Coppa Italia. Yeah. But they looked both. I mean, of course, both players had to have a debut goal. Like, come on, like that's just of course. But Vlahovic looks really good, and what makes me the most nervous about that team is that Morata looked really good with him. Yeah, and that's huge. Yeah. Like, I guess he just needed a good player like Vlahovic to come in. Someone
who knew that he needed a second striker.
Exactly.
To play with.
I guess Allegri just couldn't figure that one out. Yeah. But Zakaria, insane. Great box to box, and the goal is just like a cherry on top type of thing.
He in the beginning of the game, like he was like making mistakes. Yeah. And then he kind of like settled in, and then you saw him starting to find his flow. What's
I think like this is like he's the type of player that I think could propel Juve back to what they were because they were relying on Weston McKennie, and I do not have a good opinion on McKennie. I think he's a good player, but I do not think he's going to bring a team like Juve back to where they were previously. Someone like Zakaria, he can. Yeah. We've seen it, and it's like that signing. First of all, $5 million. Like what is that? Yeah. And then Vlahovic with a mix with them too. It's just a really good mix.
Well, I've seen people think this as well, and I agree 100%. This puts Juve, I would say, in the title race.
I think it's kind of too far gone.
I think it's too far gone too, but there's
I think it's a three-way title race right now.
There's a part of me that feels like they're just gonna like, I don't know. Watching them play, like they looked dangerous all the time. But there was parts in that game too where defensively you could see where there's issues as well. But going forward, every single time they went forward, first of all, once Valor just started running, like everyone just honed in on them, which created so much space for like Morata or Dybala to do other things. You know, I don't know. I feel like them going there, you know, is gonna create something bigger.
So I mean, ask me after Juve Inter to see like, because if Juve wins that game, then we might be having like a discussion about that, you know.
Yeah.
But right now, I think that I just don't. Even with the signings, I think Allegri still is a very passive coach right now. So I think he needs to open them up, let them do their own thing type of. And so I think that there's a chance. Like you can't write them out, obviously, but I just don't. I think it's still a three-way title race. I know many think that Juve can sneak in. I just don't. I just can't see it.
Yeah. No, it's just.
I do think that Atalanta is completely out, especially with the loss last weekend. I think they probably get top 4, but I don't think they're going to be going to be pushing for anyone from like Milan or Napoli.
Yeah, no, that I agree. I think that's far gone as well, especially if we play them and we win.
Yeah,
that will determine.
Which you seem to like confident about that. I'm nervous about playing Atalanta, especially just we don't play usually well. Is it away or home? I forget.
We're home.
We're home, so that makes me much more confident. But still, it's a tough one.
No, I get what you're saying with that, but a lot of people with Jesus Christ, Vlahovic, a lot of them saw that transfer, and a lot of people were saying like, oh, you know, the money, the price of what he was worth is going to get to him, or playing at a bigger club is going to get to him. And I heard that, and I was like, okay, maybe I see your points. You know, anything could happen, but I was like, no, he's going to go in, he's going to kill it. I don't think so. Because he's just one of those players. He's like we would say that guy. I feel, you know. There's players that crumble and break under pressure. You know what I mean? When I look at players like Haaland, Zlatan, Vlahovic, like they're ice cold. Mm-hmm. I feel like they take that pressure.
They thrive off of it.
And they thrive off of it. Yes. They have that type of personality. You can even say they have the Forza mentality.
Yeah.
You know, odds are put against them, and they don't crumble. They don't break. They thrive under it. And I feel he's that player, that type of player.
So do you think coming into like the next season, you think Vlahovic is going to be like 20 plus goals in a season type?
Yeah.
Counting he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, and I've even saw some people try to compare it to the Piatek situation with Milan.
That's not even close.
It's not even close. And then Vlahovic has so much more to his game.
Vlahovic is literally close to being a top 5 striker. Piatek wasn't even close. Piatek was a hope that like he had potential coming from Germany, but that wasn't even close. No.
Yeah, no, 100%. And again, there's so much more to Vlahovic's game that wasn't in Piatek's game at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I hate when I see that comparison as well, because it's like it's not even close. What are you talking about? Yeah. They're like, oh well, he had a good season with Genoa, and then he came in halfway and just continued off that, and the next season he was awful.
Piatek didn't even really continue his form. It was kind of just like a very blank type of form, you know? It was like he did well in a couple of games, but like it was inconsistent.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Vlahovic, I really think is going to thrive. I wish he didn't go to Juve, obviously. I know some people want him to stay in Italy. Yeah. I would have been okay if he left. I know it's not the best for the league, but it's best for Milan. So it's a tough one, but he did really well this weekend.
Yeah, no, he did. But I guess to wrap everything up, how do you rank the top 4? Right
I think from going to the end of the season, like who I think is going to be the top 4. I want Milan very badly. Yeah. I really want them. I just don't think it's their time yet. Yeah. I think they need another season. Yeah. I think Inter is going to do it. Yeah. Sadly, I really don't want them to. Yeah. But I think it's going to be exactly what it is now almost, just with Juve coming into 4th. So Inter, Milan, Napoli, and Juve. I think that's what the top 4 is going to look like, especially if Inter loses to Liverpool. I think that then that gives them a complete focus on to Serie A and to something like. So I hope if Milan could pull it off, I'm the happiest person alive. You know,
yeah, naturally.
But I just don't think it's their time yet, especially if someone else gets hurt. Like God forbid Tonali, you know, something like that.
I don't think
that's our team. That's our team.
I don't think I can handle that
exactly.
right now. Dude, that would actually have me in tears. I would be like,
we are on like we're like on a pin type of situation, you know.
Yeah.
We have a solid team, definitely not as much quality as others. Like if you look at Inter, they're 11, they're like maybe 6 on the bench, much better than Milan in terms of quality. But we have like a different. What makes Milan is just like that. We want to win. Like, it's just like a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just that team that just we want to win and we want to. We're so together as a team. We have the leaders. We have everything. We have a good mix.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to be enough to win the Serie A yet. I think we need maybe 2 more players to come in.
Yeah.
Especially if like I think Tamora is probably the best signing we made in recent times. We just need one next to him if Kiar can't do it.
Yeah.
So we have our outside backs completely set. I think they're going to be our outside backs going forward, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have the midfield in the top 3 to win Serie A yet. And it sucks coming into second, like almost 2 years in a row. But like I think it's gonna happen again.
Yeah, I think so. As much as I want Milan to get top 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean not top 4. I know we're gonna get top 4. As much as I want Milan to get that first place, win the Scudetto. And the hope is always there, but I gotta agree with you. I see it being the way that is now. Inter, Milan, Napoli, Juve.
Yeah, ask me the same question in a couple of weeks, and I might have a different answer. But right now, yeah.
Yeah, right now I would say so as well. Keep it the same. Especially Inter still do have a game in hand.
Yeah.
I think a big determination of maybe changing that is what happens this weekend, Inter Napoli.
Mm-hmm.
What happens with that game is going to be a huge determination, I feel.
Well, if Inter wins too, then I think that just means Napoli's going to be a little behind just from Milan and Inter. So then I think it's going to be sort of a 2-way race. They're obviously still in it because Milan dropped points.
Yeah.
But again, Milan can't really drop points in coming up. They can't drop points.
Yeah.
And they're known to drop points against bottom 5 clubs.
Yeah.
So in the bottom 10. So.
That Spezia game still pisses me off.
Well, that shouldn't have been a loss.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been a loss, but still, I was just thinking about that, and it just pisses me off. We would be ahead right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Inter wins their game in hand. So I think they would probably be they would be up by 1 point.
Yeah.
Equal game. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. I always think about back to that sometimes. It pisses me off.
That might be the season decider.
I know. That's why it pisses me off.
Which is why I think referees should have repercussions, but that's a different discussion.
Yeah, that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Forza Mentality. I'm Vinny.
I'm John.
And always remember, again, to keep that Forza mentality.